Jason. Make me proud, Jason. Kill them. Kill them, Jason. Don't let them escape, Jason. I'm talking to you. Find them. Find them and make them remember me, Jason. Find them. Look what they did to you, Jason. Did you know a young boy drowned the year before those two others were killed? The counselors, they weren't paying attention. They were making love while the young boy drowned. His name was Jason. I was working the day that it happened, preparing meals. Here, I was the cook. Jason should have been watched every minute. He wasn't a very good swimmer. Kill her, Mommy. Kill her. Don't let her get away. Mommy, don't let her live. I won't, Jason. I won't.
We should... Like, that was gonna, like, will be so deep. Oh my gosh, it was me the whole time. Are we in an M. Night Shyamalan movie?
Whew. Pamela's wearing representation of Pamela's sweater is getting a little warm here.
Yes, that closest approximation that we could have. It was actually, but anyway. Yeah, as you can see, I've got my Camp Crystal Lake shirt on here. Well, my floof is kind of in the way. I can't seem to coordinate to get it out of the way. But there you go,
Yay,
Camp Crystal Lake. Friend bought this shirt for me forever ago.
Aww.
You know, it used to be tight on me. It's crazy. Even with all the floof, it's still loose now. But anyway,
nice.
Yeah.
Let's show you how much progress you made. So anyhow, happy Friday the 13th, everybody.
What? It's Friday the 13th. Where's my Jason mask? But yeah, happy Friday the 13th. Happy Fursuit Friday the 13th.
I know we just did a video yesterday for DJ Sodacat's birthday, but
feels like it was only yesterday.
Apparently, Friday the 13th is also Jason's birthday.
Yes.
You see, Jason was my son. Today is his birthday. Now, I don't know if it was October the 13th. Did they ever specify what month the movie takes place in?
You know, I don't...
I mean, it's obviously not winter.
I feel like they did, but I don't remember. I know that the timeline for the... We're going to talk generally about the movie for this video, so you're not waiting for a big change up here.
Yeah,
but...
this isn't going to be a review. This is just start off as just a bit, but we want to do something for Friday the 13th.
Yeah, and it's one of my movie series.
Fursuit Friday the 13th. Happy Fursuit Friday!
Happy Fursuit Friday! Yeah, it's a movie series I really enjoy. But as we were saying, the timeline for the movie, the whole franchise, at least the original continuity, is really kind of wonky.
Yes.
It starts off pretty straightforward. And, you know, most of the movies take place on a Friday the 13th. Some of them
at least one of them take place on the day after Friday the 13th or something?
There are some days where it definitely carries over, but... or some movies where it definitely carried over a little bit, but there was a point where they introduced a 10-year time jump between movies.
By the way, I'm gonna eat my knife. Okay?
There you go. And it just totally messed up the timeline, but people have gone through, sorted as best they could. And it turns out that some estimates put, like, Jason Takes Manhattan, which was the 9th movie, and the first one, the 8th movie, I'm sorry. It is the 8th movie, the final one in the original continuity done by Paramount. And that one, it either takes place in the early 90s, chronological, I mean, it actually came out in the late 80s, I think 88, but it takes place in sometime in the 90s. But some estimates put it as far forward as 2001. So it is. It's a little weird to think that, hey, that happened when the other bad stuff happened, but
I can't type.
it's just because the time jump just borked the whole thing up, and it's too hard to reconcile everything within the timeline that the original movies were made. Do you know the first one was takes place in 1979, but it wasn't released until 1980? Yeah.
That
First,
sounds accurate.
Yeah, first movie, as I'm sure a lot of people know, the first one. They had one of the major characters in it, or one of the characters in it, ended up being Kevin Bacon.
Yes.
So
6 degrees separation of Kevin Bacon. Anybody who's been in a Friday the 13th, I guess, does that count? I don't even know if that counts.
Yeah, well, at least in that movie, but
Yeah.
I couldn't really tell you anyone else that was in there.
What about Betsy Palmer?
Oh, yeah.
Like my character.
But I haven't really seen a lot of... Personally, I haven't seen a lot of her movies.
I don't know if she's had a lot of movies, but in any case,
I can talk all day about the movies.
Sorry about that, you guys.
Yeah, that's it.
Hopefully none of you have used that particular tone and were disturbed by it. Anyhow, so
you have any questions?
why is
for
Jason
me?
immortal?
Jason. Now it depends. What you want to consider canon.
I know some continuities, people say he's a Deadite.
Yeah, yes. And that is because, well, we'll go chronologically. I'd like to state that Jason was not originally scripted to be immortal until, and you're gonna, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get some hate comments.
Final chapter?
The final, it was the next movie after the final chapter, which, if I'm not mistaken,
the fifth movie.
Was the fifth movie. The final chapter was the fifth one?
No, you're saying the movie after the final chapter.
Yeah, the fifth movie. Okay, that is what I'm referring to. The fifth movie, oh shoot, what's his name? Oh man, I just lost the name. It was in my head. But he goes to make sure that Jason is dead, digs up his grave, runs a metal pole through his heart, which I believe was an American flag pole. Yes, and a lightning bolt electrocutes him and it brings him back to life. Somehow.
Yes.
It just does.
For reasons.
Yeah, there's no, like, supernatural seance, nothing like that.
No incantations or magic circles.
Yeah. But it is acknowledged that the character does it. Tommy Jarvis.
That's
there we
it.
go.
Yeah, there you go.
Tommy Jarvis does acknowledge what he did, made him undead, and he is thusly more powerful than he's ever been before. So it's neat to at least have that exposition, even though, like, I don't know, it seems like it seems a little weird. The whole thing was weird.
Now, the second and last movie, he got resurrected through future implementations to become Uber Jason.
Yes.
So that one was more nanomachine son that that improved him to being where he was at the end of there. I really wish they'd make another one and continue it from there. That was such a cool design.
Yeah, they continued it in novel form, but the novels actually seem to be other monster stories that were just they erased the name of the monster and wrote Jason in there. They really had nothing to do with Jason.
Okay. And then, of course, the last movie was, I guess, a reboot of sorts, retelling. And that was the 12th movie that he's ever had. And you'd think somebody would get on it and make a 13th Friday the 13th franchise movie.
Like an official one. I know there's been fan projects. Oh, I did want to state. Sorry, I know I'm going back.
You're right.
The about him living forever. If you want to accept the 9th movie, Jason Goes to Hell, which was the first movie that New Line is the first of 3 movies that New Line Cinema did for the franchise.
We counting the Freddy vs. Jason.
Yep, Freddy vs. Jason would be the second one, and Jason X would be the third one. Although technically it's Jason X and then Freddy vs. Jason. There was an issue with the movie company getting impatient.
But obviously, timeline-wise, it fits before.
Yes, timeline. But in the 9th movie, you asked about him being a Deadite, and it's because his mother...
Is that the one where they set up a sting operation? And
Yes.
Okay.
The first part of the movie, they used the horror movie trope, put a sexy lady in a shower at Camp Crystal Lake. He goes outside, and he just gets unloaded upon by a bunch of automatic weapons.
Yes, which was such a ridiculous thing. It's like, why has nobody tried this before?
It was, yeah, I know. It's ridiculous that they didn't try it before, but it was neat that they actually did it. This is the first movie that New Line Cinema did with the property. And Jason is wearing a matching shirt and bottom, which I think makes people think it was a jumpsuit, but it was not.
I think people have said boiler suit, but I think that's more so what Michael Myers wears.
Yeah, what he actually wore in the movie was a pair of gray work pants and a gray work shirt of matching color. They were still two separate. Like, he's never worn a speed suit, a jumpsuit, a boiler suit. Oh, but again, about the Deadite thing, as I try to get there. It's because they go through his mom's cabin or his cabin.
That's right. The dagger of. Help me.
You're talking about the Kandarian dagger.
Yes, the Kandarian dagger.
But they find the Necronomicon there, and it seems to actually be the actual prop from the Evil Dead movies.
Yeah.
And not just something that vaguely kind of sort of resembles it. It is straight up the Necronomicon.
And I know they fought each other in the comic books.
Yes. But at least in this continuity, it's just something that Pamela did because her son died. He drowned, and he died. She uses the Necronomicon to bring him back to life. But what she brought back may not have actually been Jason. It might have just been some demon taking his form.
Oh, okay.
It's a little ambiguous there. They don't fully extrapolate on his relationship with the demon.
Freddy versus Jason certainly implies that it's actually him, because when he torments him, he reverts back to being a child.
It's very clearly him in that,
just shivering in a fetal position. So it's like clearly it's at least got his memories of having been little boy Jason.
Yes. It is a little unclear exactly, and I'm sure someone will tear me apart for saying that. But
that's just that movie. That movie is kind of its own thing as far as how continuity goes.
Yeah, I think they played a little fast and loose with some of it.
Yes, absolutely.
I think they just wanted to put the Necronomicon in there.
Yeah.
And that's why some people say he's a Deadite.
And that one also ended with Jason's glove pulling the mask underground. Right. So that was teasing that movie.
That was how Freddy's glove that popped out. And
what did I say? Jason's glove?
You did say Jason. We're getting all stoked to talk about Jason. Yeah, that was actually Kane Hodder, apparently. That's the story anyway, that Kane Hodder, the guy that was playing Jason, only one that's ever played him multiple times.
Yes. Really? Only?
Yes. Huh? And at least in the movies, they were just teasing. It was just a silly thing they did to please fans. Check it out. We finally acknowledged that people who like Freddy also watch Jason movies. Yeah. And that was really the only thing they were doing there.
I did not realize that wasn't an intentional setup for a proposed idea that kind of fell through for years until they finally were able to make it.
It could have been a way to be like, hey, can we make these two movie franchises work together? Yeah, but seeing as how New Line had the rights to do Freddy at the time,
they didn't,
and they had acquired Jason, that's why it never happened before.
And I don't understand why there hasn't been more of these kind of movies.
Right.
Death Battle is so popular, and I want to say that Freddy vs. Jason was a successful movie.
I think it did, for what it is and the time frame it was released in, I think it did pretty well. Although it was not like a critical success.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody would expect it to do like the big numbers like some of the tentpole like AAA movies would do. But
this is true.
I don't think it. I mean, we would have known if it was like did terribly in the box office. People would be saying, "Oh man, this movie bombed hard."
Yeah, I mean,
and it would be known.
I could see people saying it's not a good movie. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I went in costume.
I loved that movie too.
I went with my then partner, and I
you didn't take me.
I didn't even know you existed then. But I have a coat that I bought so I could do a cosplay as him, basically. And I do mean cosplay because I didn't always do it for Halloween. And I had a mask I bought.
That mask?
Yeah, no, it's a different. I forgot. I didn't even think to bring it in.
The one you got autographed?
Yeah, no. It's not autographed. It's just a mask that I painted up myself because I didn't want to get the actual replica, so I got a knockoff that was really, really accurate. It was just the wrong color. So I colored it up and painted it up to get the little markings. And I wore that.
Of course, you do your own little like homemade Transformers too.
Yeah,
so
I do some kit bashes.
We're able to take a different mask and make it into his without too much difficulty.
Yeah, it was fun, and I wore a pullover Jason mask on my head too. So I had the coat, I had the pants, I had the latex mask, and then my head over it.
Nice.
I think I even had the machete. This was back when you can actually do that sort of thing.
You can't do that anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah, you can't. I think it wasn't even a year later where I wouldn't have been able to do that.
Really?
It was way towards the end.
Because, I mean, I want to say that happened when The Dark Knight came out.
Yeah,
We talked about that in a different video.
Oh, yeah, maybe it was a bit. It could have just been...
Is it Dark Knight Rises? I forget.
Yeah, you know what? I think you're right. I don't know. I'll have to rethink. I think it was... it might have been the Star Wars where they were like, you can't bring the weapons in anyway. Yeah. Because a lot of kids were messing around with their lightsabers and stuff.
Oh, so. Yeah, I would absolutely believe you shouldn't be bringing in light-up props into a dark movie theater.
So I might be mixing a few things together. But it was still really fun, and I went to see the Wolverine like a week or two later.
Yeah, speaking of which, actor from the Wolverine, two of them, in fact, had their birthday yesterday.
Oh.
Watch yesterday's video if you're not sure. Plug.
I said, I know I read it so much. I just love the Jason movies.
Yes.
Most of them.
There was that one that had very little to do with him.
There was the first one where he was just a character that existed at some point, and he may or may not have been real on screen. There is a quick appearance of him because he does appear in every single movie. No, there was one that was a potential dream sequence, but it was unclear whether it was really a dream or the girl passed out or what. Mm-hmm. It was ambiguous.
But yeah, what about the one with the stupid kid with the afro eating a chocolate bar got killed and his dad?
Yeah, that was. Are you talking about Jason Takes Manhattan?
No, I'm talking about the one where the fake Jason.
Oh, yeah. The final chapter.
Is that final chapter? Was it part 4?
Yep. Believe it or not, that was all they had.
The one with the fake Jason was part 4. Okay.
Yep. They had part 1, which was the twist, which I knew going in because it was so revealed by that point. The twist was his mom is the biggest bad guy in the first one. She's the big bad in the first one. The second one is...
If you've seen Scream, that's the trick question that she gets wrong. Casey Becker gets called up and, who's the killer in Friday the 13th? Jason! It's like, wrong, it's Pamela Voorhees.
Yes. See, there you go. See, it's so well known. Second one was Baghead Jason. The third one was the first one where he gets a hockey mask, which he got from one of the other campers. And part 4 was his... So I guess originally intended to be the final movie, and it was just the final show. It was part 1. I don't remember part 2. Part 3 was Jason 3D.
Friday the 13th in 3D.
Yeah, which I bought a couple copies of so I could get
juggling up into the camera.
Yeah, I bought a couple copies just so I can get the extra 3D glasses from it, which are pretty cool. I should have brought those in too, but I didn't think about that.
Yeah, it's okay.
But yeah, and the 4th one's the final chapter, and then the 5th one has the fake Jason in it. The
5th one's the one with fake Jason. Okay.
Yes, and it has the oh shoot, did I screw that up? It's the 4th one. Oh no, I screwed up the movie.
Yeah, the 4th one, Tommy Jarvis shaves his head and does the whole thing with Jason in that one.
You sure that wasn't the 3rd one? Oh no! I'm such a fake fan.
No, you're not.
The 4th was the 5th one. The 6th one, then, would be the one where he's undead. There you go. We'll correct it. 5th one is New Beginning. 6th one is the... No, wait. The 6th one would be a New Beginning, because that's where he becomes undead. No, the 5th... Darn it! Sorry.
Which was the one with the Dream Warriors?
The 5th one... Well, that was actually from Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3. That one has Lawrence Fishburne credited as Larry Fishburne.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Okay, Part 5 is New Beginning. That's the one with the fake Jason. Part 6 is where Jason becomes undead. There we go.
When's the one where the Hell Priest meets him?
That was supposed to be Freddy versus Jason. But his part was cut from the movie.
Did I actually... I was making a joke.
You're talking
That's a real
about
thing.
Pinhead?
Yeah, the Hell Priest.
They were supposed to both go to hell at the end. That was one intended possible ending.
That would be pretty cool.
Was that they would both go to hell, and it would be like, oh, it's Pinhead. But the issue is, and what you mentioned earlier, it's rights. It's rights issues, and nobody wants to give up the rights. That's why we never got Ash versus
Come on. Why can't they do things like Sony and Disney with the rights of characters? They're like, hey, well, we'll give you part of the proceeds if you let us use this character in our thing.
Oh, it was an even sweeter.
Or even the Lego movie with all the cameos in Lego movie.
Because
they got rights for that.
Because those were big enough franchises. With Lego and like with the Wreck-It Ralph movies.
Oh, yeah, there's another one.
It was like, this thing is huge. If you want a piece of it, here's the what you need to do. But Freddy versus Jason and all those, they just weren't big enough to get those kinds of that kind of attention, that kind of agreement. Like they tried to get Ash versus Jason versus Freddy.
Like there's a comic.
Yeah, they got it as a comic, but they couldn't get it as a movie because New Line Cinema wanted creative control over Ash. And Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell are like, no, it's our character. You cannot just use him any way you want. And that killed it.
So, yeah, what would be so awesome is if we could get like a Smash Bros. Or, what was it, the Monster Squad, if anybody remembers that movie. Like one of those type of things, or like Dark Universe was supposed to be trying to do. If we could have that with horror movie characters, where all of like the major big names everybody knows from the horror movies all got to be in a movie together, how great would that be?
It would be pretty amazing.
Everybody who's a fan of each of these properties would want to go see that.
Yeah, at least to see what a train wreck it would potentially be.
Yeah, potentially, but I'm sure that it would make a lot of money.
These days, the main issues are the characters. Just as much as we love them and revere them, they just don't have the same draw that they used to. And there's 1,000 other characters that are more popular. As much as I prefer the Friday the 13th movies or Nightmare on Elm Street movies like Saw and the dime a dozen
just saw
horror
Saw
movies
X recently.
Yeah. The Conjuring universe.
They'll need to do a video on that.
Like, all these movies are way more popular. And I like the older stuff more, but this stuff has found its place. And unless we can get The Conjuring to cross over with one of these things, which we won't because they're based on true stories.
Oh my god, really?
Yes.
Conjuring is that related to Paranormal Activity, or am I just...
No, Paranormal Activity is its own thing.
Oh, okay.
It started out as a thing that wasn't even popular enough. They were like, hey,
so wait,
you want to see this in movies?
So The Conjuring is like The Exorcist kind of thing.
Yes, it's the same I believe it's the same investigative team that investigated both. I could be wrong. Okay. I could be wrong, but both of them were the same story. They're a true story where investigators went, and then they're like, hey...
Just to say, it was like demons possessing people.
Yeah, and then they were like, yo, guys, we got this crazy story. We want you to turn into a movie.
And the Nun is also part of the Conjuring.
Yes, the Nun, Annabelle.
Annabelle, yeah.
Annabelle's had like 3 movies at this point.
Really? Jeez.
We carry some of the compilations at the store I work at. So Conjuring... There's at least 2 Conjurings, I believe at least 3 Annabelle movies, 2 or 3. She makes a little cameo in Aquaman. It's a blink and you miss a cameo. Yeah, she's part of the...
That's so weird.
She's part of the junk that's floating around in the water.
I do remember hearing that I think Billy the Puppet shows up in some form in one of those movies as well.
Yeah, it's a director
James Wan
thing.
is the director.
Was it?
We're getting wildly off the
James
subject.
Gunn did it with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Put the slugs from Slither.
Oh yeah, in the collector's
case.
Yeah, I think I heard about that.
But anyway.
Yeah, we're way off topic.
Way off topic.
But
look.
hey, if you're used to our videos, you might realize we typically tend to slip into tangents once in a while. But anyhow, anything else to say about today being Friday the 13th before we sign out?
No, I got nothing. How about this? What's your favorite Friday the 13th movie?
I mean, I thought I said it earlier.
Did you? I don't recall you saying it. I didn't hear
Jason
it.
X.
Oh, you really did? Oh, I thought you were just rambling about how much you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it so much. I think it's my favorite.
Oh, okay. Well,
because it's like I love the Saw movies for similar reasons.
Because they went to space and got rebuilt by nanobots.
Over the top, graphic kills in the movie where they got to do more. They got to have sci-fi elements and introduced into it, and it being in space actually was actually had a reason for being there. At least I feel it did, compared to other movies of that type, like Leprechaun 4 in space.
Yeah, it's
that
not
didn't
like,
make any sense.
Yeah, it's usually what happens is, there's a stowaway on this ship, and there's monsters too.
Yeah.
Whether the stowaway's the monster or in the case of like Critters, actually Critters wasn't too wrong by going to space, but
oh really? Critters went to space too?
Yeah, it did. But in that case, the guy that was out of place was the guy from the other movies. So he accidentally ended up on the ship and cryostasis and woke up in the future. Relative to him, not totally dissimilar from Jason X.
So anybody who's not familiar, they basically captured Jason and tried to figure out how his immortality worked. They tried killing him in multiple different ways and eventually decided to cryogenically freeze him.
No. What happened?
Okay,
yes, you're right. I'm sorry, you're right. But in doing so...
And then he stabs his...
while he's being frozen.
Thing into the thing, and it releases some of the cryo stuff and freezes the girl that he's with.
Yes, what's a doig? She's part Filipino,
Really?
Yeah.
And, then it cuts to, hundreds of years later.
Yeah.
And people who people have left the Earth to inhabit another planet. They've come to look for stuff on Earth. They somehow find this cryostasis pod and realize these two are severely injured. We better bring them on board and use our future science stuff to, save their lives. And that's how it all
and it all
kicks off.
continues from there. And it has two characters from Andromeda. And the Andromeda one's an android / basically AI, and then is AI, and then there's a human character from that show that's in the movie.
Neat.
But in the movie, the human character is the robot, and the AI person thing, because she had 3 forms.
Really?
She's the human. That would be Alexa Doig, who also married Michael Shanks, probably from their connection in Stargate.
But anyhow, so that was a bit of a rambling rant or chit-chat about various horror movies there. Mostly about Friday the 13th, but also a little bit of a few other things.
Maybe the third one's my favorite.
But we'll try to do a video on Saw X. Basically, I would definitely say go see it if you're a fan of the franchise, if you're a casual fan, or if you're a longtime fan. Well, I'm sure you've already seen it by now. But you said you enjoyed it, even though you'd only seen the first couple, right? You can nod. Okay. So anyhow, happy happy fursuit Friday the 13th, everybody! Okay. Bye.